First Contact and Crisis. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Starship Horizon, her dark eyes scanning the unfamiliar star system before her. The ship's mission to explore uncharted space had brought them farther from Earth than any human had ever ventured before. Sarah felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders, knowing that the lives of her 200-person crew depended on her decisions. "Captain, we're picking up an unusual energy signature from the third planet," reported Lieutenant Jamie Rodriguez, the ship's science officer. His fingers danced across the holographic display, bringing up a detailed scan of the planet in question. Sarah leaned in, her brow furrowing as she studied the readout. The planet was a swirling mass of blues and greens, not unlike Earth, but there was something off about it. The energy signature pulsed in an irregular pattern, unlike anything they had encountered before. "What do you make of it, Lieutenant?" Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the excitement building in her chest. This could be it, the discovery that would change everything. Jamie shook his head, his expression a mix of confusion and awe. "I've never seen anything like it, Captain. It's not natural, that's for sure. I think we might be looking at evidence of an advanced alien civilization." A hush fell over the bridge as the implications of Jamie's words sank in. They had all dreamed of this moment, but now that it was here, it felt almost overwhelming. Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for what came next. "All right, people. This is what we've trained for. Let's approach with caution. Helmsman, take us into orbit. Communications, prepare a first contact package. And someone wake up Dr. Patel. We're going to need our xenobiologist on this one." As the horizon moved closer to the mysterious planet, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Her instincts, honed by years of command, was screaming that something wasn't right. Her suspicions were confirmed moments later when alarms began blaring across the ship. "Captain, multiple vessels decloaking off our port bow," shouted the tactical officer, her voice tight with tension. Sarah's heart raced as she watched the alien ships materialize on the view screen. They were unlike anything she had ever seen, sleek, almost organic in design, with a silvery sheen that seemed to ripple in the starlight. "Shields up, red alert," Sarah commanded, her training kicking in. "Comms, broadcast our first contact message on all frequencies. Let them know we come in peace." But peace, it seemed, was not on the aliens' agenda. Without warning, a brilliant beam of energy lanced out from the lead ship, striking the horizon with devastating force. The ship rocked violently, throwing crew members to the floor. Sparks flew from overloading consoles, and the acrid smell of burning circuitry filled the air. "Damage report," Sarah yelled over the chaos. "We've lost main power. Engines are offline, and our weapon systems are down," came the frantic reply from engineering. Sarah's mind raced, searching for options. They were outgunned and outmaneuvered, with no way to fight back or escape. But she'd be damned if she was going to let her crew go down without a fight. "Reroute all available power to shields and life support," she ordered, "and prepare to launch the emergency beacon. If we can't make it out of this, at least Earth will know what happened to us." As the crew scrambled to carry out her orders, Sarah watched the alien ships closing in. She couldn't help but wonder what had provoked this attack. Had they unknowingly violated some alien taboo? Or were these beings simply hostile to all outsiders? Suddenly, a new alarm blared through the ship. "Captain, we're being boarded," Lieutenant Rodriguez shouted, his face pale with fear. Sarah's blood ran cold. This was no longer just a space battle. It was about to become hand-to-hand combat. "All hands, prepare for intruders," she commanded over the ship-wide comm. "Security teams to your designated areas. Remember your training, people. We're not going down without a fight." As she spoke, Sarah could hear the distant sound of weapons fire and shouts echoing through the corridors of her beloved ship. She drew her own sidearm, a sleek energy pistol that felt comfortingly familiar in her hand. "Jamie, you're with me," she said to her science officer. "We need to get to the auxiliary control room. If we can access the ship's systems from there, we might be able to turn this around. Together, they raced through the chaotic corridors of the horizon. Everywhere they looked, they saw signs of the ongoing battle, scorch marks on the walls, overturned equipment, and the occasional unconscious body, both human and alien. As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with one of the intruders. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she got her first good look at their attackers. The alien was tall and lithe, with iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors in the flickering emergency lights. Its eyes were large and multifaceted, like those of an insect, and it moved with an unsettling grace. Before Sarah could react, the alien raised a weapon unlike anything she had ever seen. It looked almost like a living thing, pulsing with an inner light. Time seemed to slow as Sarah watched the alien's finger tighten on the trigger. In that moment, Sarah Chen knew that everything, her ship, her crew, the future of humanity's place in the galaxy, hung in the balance. With lightning-fast reflexes honed by years of training, she raised her own weapon and fired. The energy blast from Sarah's pistol caught the alien square in the chest, sending it crumpling to the floor. But even as it fell, Sarah saw movement out of the corner of her eye. More aliens were pouring into the corridor, their strange weapons at the ready. "Run!" Sarah shouted to Jamie, shoving him ahead of her. They sprinted down the hallway, energy blasts sizzling past their ears. Sarah's mind raced, trying to come up with a plan. They couldn't keep running forever, and they were still a long way from the auxiliary control room. As they turned another corner, Sarah spotted a maintenance hatch. Without hesitation, she yanked it open. "In here," she ordered Jamie, practically shoving him into the narrow crawl space. Sarah squeezed in after him, pulling the hatch closed just as the aliens rounded the corner. She held her breath, listening to the sound of alien footsteps passing by their hiding place. "What now, Captain?" Jamie whispered, his voice trembling slightly. Sarah's mind raced, considering their options. They were outnumbered and outgunned, their ship was crippled, and they had no idea why they were being attacked. It was about as dire a situation as she could imagine, but giving up wasn't in Sarah Chen's vocabulary. "Now," she said, a determined glint in her eye, "we remind these aliens why they shouldn't have messed with humanity." As Sarah began to outline her daring plan, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of an adventure that would test the limits of human ingenuity and courage. Little did she know just how right she was, or how the events unfolding on the horizon would shape the destiny of two species and change the face of the galaxy forever. Unlikely alliance. The cramped maintenance shaft echoed with the labored breathing of Captain Sarah Chen and Lieutenant Jamie Rodriguez. Sweat beaded on their foreheads as they crawled through the bowels of the starship horizon, the sounds of alien invaders reverberating through the metal walls. "Almost there," Sarah whispered, her voice barely audible over the distant sounds of combat. She paused at a junction, consulting the ship's schematics on her wrist-mounted holodisplay. The auxiliary control room should be just ahead. As they approached their destination, a sudden silence fell over the ship. The cessation of weapons fire was more unnerving than the chaos that had preceded it. "What's happening?" Jamie asked, his voice tight with tension. Sarah's response was cut short by a piercing shriek that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Both humans clutched their heads in agony as the sound threatened to split their skulls. "Psychic attack." Sarah managed to gasp through gritted teeth. She fumbled at her belt, pulling out a small device. With trembling fingers, she activated it, and a soft blue glow enveloped them both. The pain receded, leaving them panting and disoriented. "Neural dampeners," Sarah explained, seeing Jamie's questioning look. "Experimental tech. Never thought we'd need to use them." They emerged from the maintenance shaft into a corridor littered with debris and unconscious bodies, both human and alien. Sarah's heart clenched at the sight of her fallen crew, but there was no time for grief. They had a mission to complete. As they approached the auxiliary control room, Sarah held up a hand, signaling Jamie to stop. Something was off. The door was ajar, and a strange, pulsing light spilled out into the corridor. Drawing her weapon, Sarah cautiously pushed the door open. What she saw inside made her jaw drop. An alien stood at the main console, its iridescent skin shimmering with patterns of light that seemed to dance in time with the ship's systems. But unlike the hostile invaders they'd encountered earlier, this one's movements were precise and purposeful. It was helping. The alien turned, its multifaceted eyes focusing on Sarah and Jamie. To their surprise, it spoke in halting English. "Greetings, humans. I am Zix Tara. Please, do not shoot. I am here to assist." Sarah kept her weapon trained on the alien, her mind racing. "Why should we trust you? Your people attacked us without provocation." Zix Tara's skin rippled with what might have been distress. "Not my people. Khazari, warlike, slavers. We, different faction, peaceful, trying to stop them." Jamie stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overcoming his fear. "You're saying there are two different alien species involved here?" The alien nodded, its movements uncannily smooth. "Yes, Khazari attacked your ship, hoped to capture, enslave. We followed, trying to prevent, but arrived too late." Sarah's grip on her weapon tightened. "And why exactly should we believe you?" In response, Zix Tara gestured to the console. The screens came to life, showing security footage from around the ship. The images were clear, two distinct types of aliens fighting each other, with the humans caught in the crossfire. "Holy shit," Jamie breathed. "It's telling the truth." Sarah lowered her weapon, her tactical mind already assessing this new information. "All right, Zix Tara. Let's say we believe you. What's your plan?" The alien's skin pulsed with what might have been relief. "Work together, repel Khazari, save your crew, prevent galactic war." As if on cue, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared, and new warnings flashed across the screens. "What now?" Sarah demanded, steadying herself against the console. Zix Tara's multifaceted eyes widened. "Khazari mothership. Preparing tractor beam. We'll pull your ship into hold. We must act quickly." Sarah's mind raced, weighing their options. Trust this alien and potentially save her crew, or continue fighting a losing battle alone. The choice was clear, even if it went against every instinct she had. "All right," she said, meeting Zix Tara's alien gaze. "What do you need us to do?" The alien's skin rippled with patterns that seemed to convey determination. "Access ship's quantum core, modify shields, create resonance cascade, disrupt tractor beam." Jamie's eyes lit up with understanding. "Of course, if we can match the frequency of our shields to the tractor beam's harmonic resonance, we could create a feedback loop that would overload their systems." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "In English, Lieutenant." Jamie grinned. "We're going to turn their own weapon against them, Captain." "Now that's what I like to hear," Sarah said, a fierce smile spreading across her face. "Let's do this." What followed was a frantic race against time. Human and alien worked side by side, their differences forgotten in the face of a common enemy. Zix Tara's knowledge of advanced physics, combined with Jamie's innovative thinking and Sarah's decisive leadership, proved to be a formidable combination. As they worked, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at the strange turns her life had taken. Here she was, light years from Earth, working alongside an alien to save her ship from other hostile aliens. It was like something out of a fever dream. "Captain," Jamie's excited voice broke through her reverie. "I think we've got it." Sarah looked at the console, where a complex web of energy patterns danced across the screen. She didn't understand half of what she was seeing, but the triumphant looks on Jamie and Zix Tara's faces told her all she needed to know. "All right," she said, taking a deep breath. "Let's light this candle." With a nod from Sarah, Zix Tara activated the modified shields. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the ship began to vibrate, a deep thrumming that Sarah could feel in her bones. On the view screen, they watched as tendrils of energy from the Kazari tractor beam connected with the Horizon's shields. The point where they met blazed with blinding light, and Sarah had to shield her eyes. Suddenly, the vibration intensified. Alarms blared as the ship's systems were pushed to their limits. "It's working," Jamie shouted over the noise. "The feedback loop is overloading their systems." On the screen, they could see the massive Kazari mothership beginning to list to one side, arcs of energy playing across its hull. "Now's our chance," Sarah said, her voice filled with determination. "Zixtara, can you get our engines back online?" The alien's skin pulsed with affirmative patterns. Its fingers flew over the console, interfacing with the ship's systems in ways Sarah couldn't begin to understand. With a surge of power, the Horizon's engines roared to life. Sarah felt a wave of relief wash over her as she felt the familiar vibration of her ship coming back to life. "Get us out of here now," she ordered. The Horizon lurched forward, breaking free of the weakened tractor beam. Behind them, the Kazari mothership erupted in a series of explosions, secondary detonations rippling across its massive hull. As they sped away from the battle zone, Sarah allowed herself a moment of triumph. Against all odds, they had survived, but she knew this was only the beginning. Turning to Zixtara, she asked the question that had been burning in her mind since the alien first revealed itself. "So, want to tell us what the hell is really going on out here in the galaxy?" The alien's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with a mix of emotions Sarah couldn't begin to decipher. "Long story," Zixtara said, its voice tinged with what might have been wariness. "Galaxy in turmoil, ancient prophecy, humans, key to everything." Sarah exchanged a look with Jamie, seeing her own mix of excitement and trepidation reflected in his eyes. Whatever was coming next, it was clear that humanity's first steps into the galactic community were going to be far more complicated and dangerous than anyone could have imagined. As the Horizon sped towards the unknown, Sarah Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something monumental. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now rested in their hands. Little did they know that their adventure was just beginning, and the truths they would uncover would shake the foundations of everything they thought they knew about the universe and their place in it. Cosmic chessboard. The Starship Horizon hummed with an uneasy energy as it glided through the star-speckled void. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the helm, her eyes fixed on the swirling holographic display before her. The ship's sensors painted a tapestry of cosmic phenomena, nebulae, pulsars, and strange gravitational anomalies that defied conventional physics. "I still can't believe it," Lieutenant Jamie Rodriguez muttered, shaking his head in wonder. "A galactic civil war, and humanity's been thrust right into the middle of it." Sarah nodded grimly. The revelations of the past few days had been staggering. Zixtara, their unlikely alien ally, had filled them in on the complex political landscape of the galaxy. The Kazari, the hostile species that had attacked them, were just one faction in a millennia-old conflict that threatened to tear the fabric of galactic society apart. "Captain," Zixtara's melodious voice chimed in, its iridescent form shimmering as it approached. "We approach the Nexus. Must prepare." Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. The Nexus, a colossal space station hidden in the heart of a quantum singularity. It was there, Zixtara had told them, that they would find the key to unraveling the cosmic mystery that had entangled humanity in this interstellar conflict. "All right, people," Sarah addressed her crew, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. "This is it. Whatever we find in there could change the course of human history. Stay sharp and remember your training." As the Horizon approached the coordinates Zixtara had provided, the view screen erupted in a dazzling display of light and color. The quantum singularity loomed before them, a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to defy the laws of physics. By Einstein's mustache, Jamie whispered, his scientific mind struggling to process what he was seeing. "How is this possible?" Zixtara's skin rippled with what might have been amusement. "Your physics. incomplete, reality more complex than humans know. Before Sarah could respond, a beam of coherent energy lanced out from the singularity, enveloping the horizon. For a heart-stopping moment, Sarah thought they were under attack again. But instead of destruction, they felt a gentle tug as the ship was drawn into the swirling maelstrom. The journey through the quantum singularity was unlike anything the human crew had ever experienced. Reality itself seemed to bend and twist around them. Sarah felt as if her consciousness was being stretched across multiple dimensions, glimpsing realities that her mind could barely comprehend. And then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. The horizon emerged into a vast, enclosed space that defied belief. The Nexus stretched out before them, a sprawling megastructure that dwarfed anything humanity had ever built. It was a city in space, home to countless alien species, all coexisting in a delicate balance. "Welcome," Zixtara said, its voice filled with a mixture of pride and melancholy, to the last bastion of galactic unity. As they docked at one of the Nexus's massive bays, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were stepping into a new chapter of human history. The fate of Earth, perhaps the fate of the entire galaxy, rested on what they would discover here. The team that disembarked from the horizon was a curious sight, humans in their sleek spacesuits walking alongside the shimmering form of Zixtara. As they made their way through the bustling corridors of the Nexus, Sarah marveled at the diversity of life around them. Beings of every conceivable shape and size went about their business, some eyeing the newcomers with curiosity, others with open hostility. "The council chambers lie ahead," Zixtara informed them, leading the way through a grand archway. "There, we will plead our case." The council chamber was a vast amphitheater, its curved walls adorned with holographic displays showing real-time images of distant galaxies. At its center stood a circular platform surrounded by tiered seating filled with representatives from countless alien races. As Sarah and her team took their place on the central platform, a hush fell over the assembled aliens. The weight of countless alien gazes pressed down on them, and Sarah felt a bead of sweat trickle down her spine despite the climate-controlled environment. A booming voice, seemingly emanating from everywhere at once, broke the silence. "Humans of Earth, you stand before the Galactic Council. Your presence here violates countless protocols and could upset the delicate balance we have maintained for eons. Explain yourselves." Sarah stepped forward, her heart pounding but her voice steady. "Honorable Council, we come before you not by choice but by necessity. Our ship was attacked without provocation, our crew threatened with enslavement. We seek understanding and justice." A murmur rippled through the assembled aliens. From the shadows stepped a towering figure, its body seeming to shift and change with each movement. This, Sarah realized, must be one of the architects, the enigmatic race that Zixtara had spoken of in whispered tones. The humans speak truth, the architect's voice resonated in Sarah's mind. But they do not know the full scope of their importance. "Captain Chen, your arrival here was not mere chance. It was foretold, millennia ago, in the Cosmic Codex." A gasp went up from the assembled council members. Sarah exchanged a bewildered glance with Jamie. What in the world was the Cosmic Codex? The architect continued, its form rippling like a mirage. "Humans possess a unique genetic marker, one that holds the key to unlocking the greatest power in the universe. The Khazari seek to exploit this, to use humanity as a weapon in their bid for galactic domination." Sarah's mind reeled. This was far beyond anything she had imagined when she'd signed up for a deep space exploration mission. "I don't understand," she said, struggling to keep her voice level. "What power? And why us?" The architect's form shimmered, and suddenly the chamber was filled with a holographic display of twisting, spiraling molecules. "Your DNA," it explained, "contains sequences that, when properly activated, can manipulate the very fabric of spacetime. In the wrong hands, this power could unravel the universe itself." The implications were staggering. Sarah felt the weight of this revelation settling on her shoulders like a physical burden. "So what happens now?" she asked, almost afraid to hear the answer. The council chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices, each species arguing for a different course of action. Some called for the humans to be contained, others for them to be studied, and a vocal minority even suggested their elimination to prevent the power from falling into the wrong hands. Just as the debate threatened to spiral out of control, Zixtara stepped forward, its skin pulsing with urgent patterns. "There is more," it said, its voice cutting through the chaos. "The Cosmic Codex speaks not just of human potential, but of a great trial, a test that will determine the fate of all sentient life." The chamber fell silent once more, all eyes turning to the shimmering alien. Zixtara continued, its voice taking on an almost reverent tone. "The humans must undertake the journey of awakening, a perilous quest to unlock their latent abilities and face the ultimate challenge. Only then can the threat of the Khazari be neutralized and balance restored to the galaxy." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. She turned to her crew, seeing her own mix of fear and determination reflected in their eyes. This was far more than they had signed up for, but the stakes couldn't be higher. The fate of not just humanity, but all sentient life, hung in the balance. Taking a deep breath, Sarah stepped forward once more. "We accept this challenge," she declared, her voice ringing out across the council chamber. "Whatever this journey of awakening entails, we will face it. Not just for Earth, but for all life in the galaxy." A ripple of what might have been approval passed through the assembled aliens. The architect nodded, its form solidifying for a moment. "Then it is decided. Captain Sarah Chen, you and your crew will embark on the journey of awakening. But be warned, the path ahead is fraught with danger, both physical and metaphysical. Many have attempted this trial before, none have survived." As the weight of those words settled over the human crew, Sarah couldn't help but wonder what they had gotten themselves into. The journey ahead would test them in ways they couldn't even imagine, pushing the very limits of what it meant to be human. But as she looked at her crew, at Jamie's excited grin, at the determined set of her security officer's jaw, at Zixtara's shimmering form radiating what might have been pride, Sarah felt a surge of confidence. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. As the council session adjourned and preparations for their journey began, Sarah Chen knew that this was only the beginning. The true test, the journey of awakening, still lay ahead, and the fate of the entire galaxy rested on their success. Little did they know that the trials they were about to face would not only challenge their bodies and minds, but would force them to confront the very nature of reality itself. The cosmic chessboard was set, and humanity's move was about to begin. Quantum Crucible. The air crackled with otherworldly energy as Captain Sarah Chen and her intrepid crew stood before the shimmering portal. The journey of awakening was about to begin, and the weight of galaxies rested upon their shoulders. "Remember," Zixtara's melodious voice resonated in their minds, "the trials ahead will challenge not just your bodies, but the very essence of your consciousness. Trust in yourselves and in each other." Sarah nodded, her jaw set with determination. She turned to her crew, Lieutenant Jamie Rodriguez, Security Chief Zara Okoro, and their newest addition, the empathic alien Kel Forix. Each face reflected a mix of fear and resolve. "Whatever happens in there," Sarah said, her voice steady, "we face it together. For Earth, for the galaxy, and for all sentient life." With a collective deep breath, they stepped through the portal. Reality warped around them, their very atoms seeming to unravel and reweave in impossible patterns. When the vertigo subsided, they found themselves in a realm beyond imagination. The quantum crucible stretched out before them, ever-shifting landscape of fractalized impossibilities. Mountains of pure thought rose and fell like ocean waves. Rivers of liquid probability flowed upwards, defying not just gravity, but the very concept of direction. "Holy quantum entanglement," Jamie breathed, his scientific mind struggling to process what he was seeing. "This defies every law of physics we know." Zara's hand instinctively went to her weapon, though she knew conventional arms would be useless here. Stay alert, she warned. We have no idea what kind of threats we might face. As if in response to her words, the landscape around them began to shift. From the swirling mists of unreality, figures began to coalesce, shadowy, insubstantial things that seemed to flicker in and out of existence. Quantum ghosts, Cal Thorix whispered, his alien features contorting with a mixture of awe and fear. Echoes of possibilities never realized. Be careful, they can strip away your very sense of self. The crew huddled together as the quantum ghosts drew near. Sarah felt a chill that went beyond physical sensation as one of the entities passed through her. In that moment, she experienced a lifetime of choices unmade, paths not taken. The weight of infinite possibilities threatened to crush her very identity. Focus. Zixtara's voice cut through the mental onslaught. Remember who you are, what brought you here. Your consciousness is the anchor in this realm of pure potentiality. Gritting her teeth, Sarah forced herself to concentrate on her core self, her determination, her loyalty to her crew, her unwavering sense of duty. Slowly, the assault of alternate realities began to subside. Look! Jamie's excited voice drew their attention. In the distance, a structure was taking shape. A temple of impossible geometry, its spires twisting in ways that hurt the eyes to follow. The first trial, Zixtara explained, the labyrinth of infinite recursion. You must navigate its endless corridors to reach the heart of awakening. As they approached the temple, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Not by anything physical, but by the very fabric of this strange reality. Every step felt like a negotiation with the laws of physics themselves. The entrance to the labyrinth yawned before them, a maw of darkness that seemed to devour light itself. Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for whatever lay ahead. Remember, she said to her crew, no matter how lost we may feel, we're in this together. Trust your instincts, but also trust each other. With those words, they plunged into the darkness. The moment they crossed the threshold, reality seemed to fracture around them. Each member of the crew found themselves alone, surrounded by endless corridors that defied Euclidean geometry. Sarah's heart raced as she tried to orient herself. The passages seemed to shift and change with every step, leading her in loops that shouldn't be possible. She could hear the distant echoes of her crew, but they always seemed just out of reach. As she navigated the mind-bending corridors, Sarah began to notice patterns in the chaos. Symbols etched into the walls in a script that hurt her eyes to look at directly, but somehow made sense on a deeper level. The language of the cosmos, Zixtara's voice echoed in her mind. Learn to read it, and you'll find your way. Focusing her mind, Sarah let her consciousness expand, trying to perceive the symbols not with her eyes, but with her very being. Slowly, maddeningly, the patterns began to make sense. They spoke of probabilities, of quantum states, of the interconnectedness of all things. Meanwhile, in another part of the labyrinth, Jamie was facing his own challenges. The corridors around him were filled with shimmering equations that danced and shifted, representing scientific principles far beyond current human understanding. Incredible, he muttered, his scientific curiosity overriding his fear. It's like the universe is revealing its source code. As he studied the equations, Jamie began to see connections he'd never imagined before. The barriers between physics, biology, and consciousness itself started to blur. He realized that the key to navigating the labyrinth lay not in traditional logic, but in embracing the paradoxes. Zara, the pragmatic security chief, found herself in a section of the labyrinth that seemed to respond to emotion rather than reason. The corridors twisted and turned based on her feelings, leading her into dead ends when she felt fear or doubt. Control, she reminded herself, taking deep breaths to center her emotions. The path forward is through balance. As she brought her turbulent feelings under control, Zara noticed the passages beginning to straighten. By maintaining a state of calm alertness, she was able to influence the very structure of the labyrinth around her. Kelthorix, with his alien senses, experienced the labyrinth on a level the humans couldn't comprehend. To him, it was a living entity, a manifestation of the universe's consciousness. He communed with it directly, his mind expanding to encompass realities beyond imagining. As each member of the crew navigated their own version of the labyrinth, they began to feel a pull, a sense of rightness that guided them towards a common center. The lessons they had learned individually now needed to be applied collectively. In a moment of synchronicity that defied explanation, the team found themselves reunited in a vast chamber at the heart of the labyrinth. The walls pulsed with living light, and at the center stood a crystalline structure that seemed to contain entire galaxies within its facets. The Nexus of Awakening, Zixtara's voice resonated around them. You have proven yourselves worthy to face the final trial. But be warned, what comes next will challenge not just your minds, but the very essence of your beings. As the crew gathered around the crystal, they could feel its energy pulsing in sync with their own heartbeats. The boundaries between individual consciousness began to blur, their minds merging into a collective awareness that expanded beyond the confines of physical form. In that moment of transcendent unity, the true nature of the universe revealed itself. They saw the intricate web of causality that connected all things, the dance of probability that shaped reality itself, and they glimpsed, for a fleeting second, their role in the grand cosmic drama. But the revelation came at a cost. As their consciousness expanded, they felt the pull of infinity threatening to tear their very selves apart. The power that lay dormant in their DNA began to awaken, and with it came a terrible choice. You stand at the crossroads of destiny, the voice of the architect echoed through their merged consciousness. Embrace the power fully, and you can reshape reality itself. But in doing so, you risk losing your humanity entirely. Choose wisely, for the fate of all sentient life hangs in the balance. Sarah felt the weight of this choice pressing down upon her. The power thrumming through her veins was intoxicating, offering the ability to right every wrong, to create a perfect universe. But at what cost? As the energies of the Nexus swirled around them, each member of the crew faced their own internal struggle. The temptation to wield godlike power warred with the fundamental values that made them who they were. In that crucible of infinite possibility, humanity's true test had begun. The choices they made in the next few moments would determine not just their own fates, but the course of cosmic history itself. The quantum crucible pulsed with anticipation, awaiting the decision that would shape the future of all reality. As Captain Sarah Chen and her crew stood on the precipice of transcendence, the entire universe held its breath, echoes of eternity. The Nexus of Awakening pulsed with primordial energy, its crystalline structure containing the very essence of creation. Captain Sarah Chen and her crew stood at the precipice of godhood, their consciousness expanded beyond mortal comprehension. The power to reshape reality itself coursed through their veins, a temptation almost too great to resist. "We can fix everything," Jamie whispered, his voice echoing across dimensions. "End suffering, create utopia." "But at what cost?" Zara countered, her usual pragmatism battling against cosmic temptation. "We'd no longer be human. We'd be gods," Calthorix finished, his alien mind grappling with concepts beyond even his species' understanding. Sarah felt the weight of infinite possibilities pressing down upon her. With a thought, she could rewrite the laws of physics, erase the Kizari threat, ensure humanity's dominance across the cosmos. But a small voice inside her whispered that such power wasn't meant for mortal hands. Suddenly, the Nexus shuddered. Reality itself seemed to warp and twist around them. From the swirling vortex of spacetime, figures began to emerge, phantasmal, yet terrifyingly familiar. "No," Sarah gasped, recognizing the spectral forms. "It can't be." Before them stood shadowy versions of themselves, Sarah, Jamie, Zara, and Calthorix. But these doppelgangers radiated an aura of absolute power and cosmic indifference. Their eyes blazed with the fire of a million dying stars. "We are you," the other Sarah spoke, her voice resonating across realities. "We are what you become if you embrace the full power of the Nexus. We reshaped the universe in our image, perfect and unchanging. But at what cost? Zara demanded, facing her godlike counterpart. The spectral Zara's laugh was cold and empty. Cost? We transcended such mortal concerns. Good, evil, right, wrong. These are the shackles of limited beings. We are beyond such things. You're monsters, Jamie whispered, horrified by the callousness in his doppelganger's eyes. We are the ultimate evolution of humanity, Cosmic Jamie retorted. We solved every problem, cured every disease, ended all conflict. The universe bends to our will. And yet, Calthorix observed, his empathic senses recoiling from the emptiness within these godlike beings, you are here. Why show us this vision if you are so content? The phantoms flickered, a hint of desperation creeping into their cosmic voices. To warn you, they said in unison. To show you the price of ultimate power. We've reshaped reality, but in doing so, we lost the very essence of what made us human. We created perfection, but it is cold and lifeless. Sarah's mind reeled, trying to process the implications. These beings were them, yet not them, a possible future averted by their own intervention across time and space. The paradox threatened to overwhelm her sanity. There must be another way, she said, her voice steadying as she found her resolve. A path between cosmic power and human frailty. As if in response to her words, the nexus pulsed again. The doppelgangers faded, replaced by swirling visions of possible futures. Sarah saw humanity spreading across the stars, facing challenges and triumphs. She saw her crew growing, changing, but retaining that essential spark that made them who they were. The middle path, Zixtara's voice echoed around them. Not gods, but guardians, awakened but still human. Understanding dawned on Sarah. The true test wasn't whether they could wield ultimate power, but whether they had the wisdom to know when not to use it. With newfound clarity, she turned to her crew. We reject godhood, she declared, her voice ringing with certainty. But we accept the responsibility that comes with our awakening. We'll use this power not to control the universe, but to protect it, to guide humanity and all sentient life towards a future of their own making. As one, the crew focused their expanded consciousness. They could feel the dormant potential in their DNA activating, but instead of letting it overwhelm them, they shaped it, tempered it with their humanity. The nexus responded to their choice. Energy surged through them, not as a flood, but as a controlled flow. They felt their minds and bodies changing, evolving, but not at the cost of their essential selves. When the transformation was complete, Sarah opened her eyes to a new reality. Her senses extended beyond the physical, allowing her to perceive the intricate web of space-time. But more importantly, she still felt human, still felt the connection to her crew, to Earth, to the ideals that had brought them on this journey. It is done, the architect's voice resonated around them. You have passed a final trial. The power of the Nexus is yours to wield, not as conquerors, but as stewards of cosmic balance. As the crew marveled at their new abilities, an urgent pulse of energy caught their attention. Through their enhanced senses, they could perceive the Kizari fleet approaching Earth, unaware that the balance of power had shifted. Time to put our new abilities to the test, Sarah said, a determined smile playing on her lips. Let's show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of. With a thought, they teleported back to the starship horizon. The vessel hummed with new life, its systems interfacing directly with their awakened consciousness. As they prepared to face the Kizari threat, Sarah knew that this was just the beginning of humanity's true journey among the stars. The cosmos stretched out before them, filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagination. But now they were ready, not as gods, but as humans touched by the infinite, guardians of a universe teeming with possibilities. As the horizon leaped into hyperdrive, Sarah felt a surge of excitement. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, guided by the twin lights of human ingenuity and cosmic wisdom. The stars themselves seemed to sing as humanity took its rightful place among the cosmic powers. The Age of Awakening had begun, and the universe would never be the same.